Thanks for joining us. Kay Murray and LME are here. We're going to be hearing from Steve McManaman in just a moment. Dallin Cuff will be joining us to give us an interesting insight into the top four race, and Shaka Hislop is going to be with us as well. We're hoping to hear from Mark Ogden after the game. He was at it today, and what a game it was. It feels like it was so pivotal a day in the title race today, LME. Arsenal with a 3-2 win over Manchester United, 5 points clear. They've got a game in hand as well. This was a massive day. Not only did we just see how resilient they are, the fact that they could fight back, we got to see that this is the team to beat. We got to see that this is the team to fear the most right now in the Premier League.
A huge victory, Kay Murray. Welcome, everybody. Listen, in the history of the Premier League and the history of football, of course, in Europe and England and beyond, there's always defining moments for a team chasing a title. If you go to the Premier League specifically, you have Sergio Aguero and Manchester City in that massive game against QPR. Manchester United would do it on the regular in the 90s. And this game, Kay, today, I felt was just like that. A symbolic, essential moment. Obviously, numerically speaking, it doesn't determine the Premier League for Arsenal, but it was a massive victory. Huge, just because United kept fighting back, right? It was 2-0 into the latter stages, and Arsenal at the Emirates under Miguel Arteta get 3 huge points. And to me, I know we're going to talk about it, but it's over. Arsenal winning the Premier League. Fantastic stuff.
Let's bring in Maka then, because he's been watching this one and we're trying to grab him before he has to go on his La Liga commentary. Maka, it's great to have you. You know what? I felt as though it was a little throwback of yesteryear, and we got to see clashes that we were used to seeing between these two sides in the 90s. But for you, how pivotal a day was this in the title race?
Well, I thought it was a huge day. Firstly, what I would say is that it was a fantastic game, and the two teams deserve a lot of credit. I mean, Arsenal were brilliant in the end to get that late victory. Manchester United, I thought, played their part, and they'll probably walk away thinking they at least deserved a draw. But it was a real big day, wasn't it? With Erling Haaland scoring a hat-trick, and then Manchester City jumping to within 2 points. Of course, Arsenal always had that couple of games in hand, but then to win the way they did in the last moment, it almost feels a lot better, doesn't it? A lot more joyous, a lot more celebratory when you score in the last minute of the game. But to ease away from City again, and the way they're playing, and just harness all that confidence that they are having at the moment, I just thought it was a real big day. And it just shows that this Arsenal aren't just a team that play good football. They've got a real steely determination. They've got a great work ethic. And they look as if they're very much as a whole, don't they? As a one, you see them celebrating at the end. They look a very happy bunch. And it bodes well for Arsenal going forward.
Yeah, well, listen, to your point, Maka, steely determination, taking in mind that there's such a young squad. It's very, very impressive. I know that you were going somewhere with this commentary. I don't know what your predictions were overall in terms of who's going to win the Premier League title, but what are you thinking right now in terms of Arsenal? Can they do this? Obviously, there's still a lot of matches to be played, but what do you think is the determinant factor for them to finally, once again, win the Premier League?
Well, I think it's simple, LME, to be honest. They need to keep everybody fit. I mean, you need a little bit of luck when winning any cup competition, any championship. You need a bit of fortune. And if they keep the like of Ødegaard, if they keep, Partey, if they keep some of the defenders free from injury and on the pitch, and he continues to pick the same team and the same 11 week in, week out, there's a great possibility that they'll win the league. But as we've seen with Liverpool, as we've seen with Chelsea, as we've seen at Manchester City at times this year, there will become an occasion where you get 3 or 4 injuries, and it's how big their squad is to deal with those injuries. But if they stay fit and well, I mean, they're big favourites, aren't they? Because the way they are playing with their game in hand, you expect them to win that game in hand. And if they are 8 points clear, playing with the form that they are, and haven't only lost one game, yes, they've got Manchester City to come 3 times in quick succession. We know that. And that'll be another yardstick for them. But when you're playing Manchester City, they must know that they only have to draw those games, so they can be a little bit more pragmatic in those particular games. But if they keep everybody fit, I think they've got a wonderful chance of lifting the Premier League.
Maka, we're going to bring in Mark Ogden, who was at the game today. But just while he is coming into the chat room here, I wanted to ask about Eddie Nketiah. Obviously brilliant today, what we've seen from him for Arsenal. What are your thoughts on him as a player?
Well, I think he showed today, and all the crowd singing his name, Kay, that it was a great day for him. He's had a lot of detractors, really, mentioning his form. But the fact that Gabriel Jesus has been injured and he's stepped in and he's done really, really well. And I was thrilled to bits for him, to be honest, for him to score 2 and be dangerous. And also the fact that he's playing in a really good Arsenal team means that it shows how good he is. I think if someone is playing in a struggling side, they're always going to look as if they're going to struggle. But suddenly you put him in a team that's absolutely firing and making chances. He will put himself in the right areas all the time. And I think his second goal, the winner, I think that shows everything. His realisation to be in that place and get the tap in, I think it was far more enjoyable than his first goal, which of course was a fantastic header. But the last one, the winner, is a typical poacher's goal, being in the right place at the right time, hoping that things will happen, and he got his rewards, and I'm made up for him, thrilled to bits, and he'll deserve all the highlights and all the credit that he's going to get in the morning.
Marco, it's been brilliant to have you on. Thank you so much, because we know you've got the Athletic Real Madrid commentary.
Looking forward. I hope that's as good a game, I tell you that.
So do we, mate. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you soon. We're going to bring Shaka Hislop in as well. He's actually around somewhere in the office. We're actually in the same office. We're just different rooms right now. We should probably sat together.
He's been taken hostage, Kay.
Right, Mark, you were at the game, so let's start with you. What did you make of it?
Oh, it was an amazing game, wasn't it? It was like the old kind of Man United Arsenal games of the last 20 years ago, the classic. So ultimately, Arsenal, I think, deserved the win. But I thought United showed a lot today that they're on the way back. But I just thought Arsenal had better possession. Nketiah, scored a crucial goal when it mattered. And Arsenal, they keep winning, don't they? I mean, this was in January, it would be the exit test. So they held against the 0 against Newcastle, they beat Tottenham, they beat Man United. So they're passing every test. The other test left was Man City. So by that point, by the time they get to City again, they might have enough of a cushion. It's a bit of freedom in case to lose that game. So for me, Arsenal are the favourites to go to win the title, because the City aren't convincing me, but Arsenal keep winning.
Yeah, I'm with Augie 100%, Kay, as we have said for a while. I think something that makes this Arsenal team so good is that they're resilient, even when they go down, even when the chips are against them. They're just trying to get a victory. Martin Odegaard, by the way, one of the acquisitions, in recent memory for Arsenal, so important for them. Shaka Hislop, straight away, initial reactions. This is a massive win for them, don't you think?
It's a massive win, but a deserved one for Arsenal. And I have to say, I have to join the chorus of everybody who's been on. What an incredible game of football that was. Contrast that with Liverpool-Chelsea 24 hours ago. And it speaks to the quality of both of these teams. And in fairness, we will sing Arsenal's praises because they won the game. They got all 3 points. But I thought Manchester United played their part in what was certainly as good a game as I've seen for quite some time. Arsenal were deserved winners, though. And I don't think, though we're talking about Eddie Nketiah and a late goal to snatch all 3 points, I thought the way they finished, Arsenal were the more deserving of the two. I thought it was a fairly even first 45 minutes. And then as the second half went on and the changes were made, Anthony off, and having to bring Fred on, I just feel it more looked like Arsenal that Manchester United, as the game went on, were going to be more relying on the counter-attack. But Arsenal were prepared for that. They pressed high up the park. They didn't allow Manchester United, who are one of the best counter-attacking teams in the English game, if not world football, to really find those spaces. And that one close call, I guess we'd call it, with Rashford and Ramsdale apart, Manchester United didn't look like they'd find another. And then on to Eddie Nketiah. And I have to say this off the top. When Jesus went down injured and Arsenal were linked with João Felix, I said they had to get João Felix. That Eddie Nketiah was not the player that you could rely on between now and the end of the season to deliver a title. And I could not be more wrong. Eddie Nketiah has been everything that Arsenal has needed, to the point that it gives Arteta something to think about when Jesus is back fit. And that's all you can ask of your players, that they get themselves ready to give the manager an absolute headache. And Eddie Nketiah has been exactly that. Marcus spoke about his winner, the poacher's instinct. But let's remember, he had a chance just before that brought an incredible save out of David De Gea as well. And Eddie Nketiah is proving to be the difference for this Arsenal team. The difference in that, as good as they were, and Marcus spoke about injuries, they got a big one to Jesus, but Eddie Nketiah has made it look anything but.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.